Before we begin, I would request you to subscribe to my channel and like this video to be updated about all of our future content. One of the most feared and gruesome cults in India are the Aghori Sadhus. These Sadhus, or monks, incite bafflement, fear, and loathing in equal measures. These Sadhus are associated with post-death rituals and cremation activities, and famous for their wild ways of living. The religious practices of these Sadhus are often viewed as notorious and seeking to gain a higher level of spirituality somehow. Shrouded in an aura of mystery, the lifestyle of these men has led to the spreading of various off-putting rumors, leaving the general public of India more fearful. Aghoris also attract the attraction of intrigued foreigners. These tourists spend days with these sadhus, photographing and interviewing them as they go about with their daily lives. The foreigners attempt to learn more about the Aghoris' self-induced and extreme lifestyle.
The state of divine madness, speaking in tongues.
As it is with every cult, these sadhus also have a motive for their practices, which is, in a lot of ways, inconsistent with the moral beliefs of the rest of India. A vast number of these Aghoris believe and worship the traditional gods in the Indian mythology, but their divergence from the standard Indian worship rituals does not really end here. Aghoris tend to seek spiritual enlightenment and upliftment, and do not practice idol worship to attain this, relying instead on meditation and a combination of alcohol and weed, or marijuana, to increase the intensity levels of their concentration. They claim that the use of recreational drugs transports them to a different spiritual level, which brings them closer to God. The purpose of incorporating these polluting and corrupting practices through their various customs is the realization and embracement of non-individuality. Aghoris live on the margins of societies, choosing to make places with extreme weather conditions, like deserts, caves, mountains, as their homes. In holy Indian cities such as Varanasi, the sadhus live in cemeteries and other places where most people like you and me won't venture into. Other than being simply separated from the society, Aghoris choose to live close to the dead, since the dead play a huge role in their rituals of worship. Aghori sadhus are known for their rumored necrophilia and other bizarre practices involving the dead. These practices involve meditating on the top of dead bodies, indulging in sexual acts with the dead bodies, and also eating their raw flesh. All these rituals are carried out with only one purpose: to embrace what the society typically considers dirty and transcend spiritual levels to reach God. The practice of performing sexual acts in the midst of dead bodies apparently gives these sadhus supernatural powers, which enable them to practice black magic. The Aghori tradition also includes tantric practices, or in simple language, black magic. And the foremost pilgrimage center of the Aghoris is the ashram of Kinnaram, located in Varanasi. Apart from this, the Aghoris consider cemeteries and cremation grounds to be holy for themselves. These men typically live in places of complete and utter darkness, and they feel that living in such dark places can eventually show them the light, or give them self-realization. These men live in isolation from the whole society, and rarely indulge in talking to normal people. Aghoris only speak and converse with people of their own cult. A tourist who once met an Aghori priest reported that he was told that the Aghori was consuming alcohol, cannabis, and human flesh at the same time, while drinking the alcohol from an actual human skull. The Aghori sadhus have long hair, which remains uncut throughout their lives. They are covered head to toe in human ash, and sometimes dressed in black clothes. Mostly, though, they are naked. The Aghoris are heavily drugged all the time, with eyes that seem sober, despite the heavy intoxication. According to word-of-mouth stories, even a small sight of the Aghori will frighten anyone who is too attached to an average normal lifestyle. However, all these reports come from the minds of people who fear these Aghoris. In reality, though, the Aghoris actually live quite simple and straightforward lives, in spite of their abnormal practices. If an Aghori Sadhu carries hatred in him, he might just literally eat that which he hates. If he feels violent, he will practice meditation and learn to let go of the violence. Surprisingly, Aghoris are actually known for their specific practice of medicine. Their spiritual healing processes comprise of purification. People often come to these sadhus in order to be treated for diseases, mostly when all Western medicines fail them. These patients are mostly from the West and believe that somehow the Aghoris can treat them by transferring health into their bodies. This is a really well-known form of transformative healing, and the implementation of this practice is possible due to the heightened spirituality of the mind and the body of the Aghori Sadhu. Whether these practices actually manage to heal the patients is not completely verified. The bizarre traditions and the lifestyle of the Aghoris are what incite the crowd into being fearful. And despite these cannibalistic diets and rituals involving the dead, Aghoris have the same motive for their practices as any other theist seeking God. Unlike most human beings, they often wish to be left alone. As dangerous as they may seem, these men are not particularly harmful to humans, as they, well, mostly like to indulge with dead corpses. Rather, it's their lifestyle that most normal people find to be a bit peculiar. The state of Aghor means rejecting all the usual norms and embracing all that is generally considered taboo by the society. Basically, living life without any restrictions. As it is well known that the Aghoris don't feel the need for clothes, and prefer to stay naked as they embrace their quote-unquote natural form. Normal or otherwise, the Aghori culture is surely interesting. Please do subscribe to my channel and like this video to be updated about all of my future videos. Thank you.